All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube. I've got a Pfister Marielle series number 26 kitchen faucet here in my kitchen. That guy, it's got a single handle, it's got all the parts here. And I typically have two problems with this faucet. Problem number one is after we've twisted this back and forth through normal wear, the screw that's inside here that kind of controls how much this is allowed, or the resistance, loosens itself over time, and I get water drips coming out of here. So just really quick, I don't have that problem right now, but this little cap here just screws off, and inside you'll see an Allen wrench type of a screw. And what we end up doing is we end up using just a screwdriver. I don't have an Allen wrench that size, and I just tighten this right at the top a little bit. I suppose I could use some plumber's putty to make that a more permanent fix, but right now it works for me to just tighten that up every once in a while. But the problem I'm having now is with my handle, and I'm sure I'm not using the correct technical terms anywhere in this video, so I apologize for that. But right now what'll happen is I've got, like, there's all this give with the handle, and if I'm towards hot or towards cold and I go to shut it off, it doesn't shut off, and I can just feel it. And I have to end up pushing down a number of times in order to get it turned off. And same thing over here in cold land. It's not the smooth turn off anymore, unless I really force it down. And that's not how it was before, and you can see it. It's giving me problems. So I ended up taking off this whole assembly, and you'll see I was a little sloppy with that, and I didn't see any obvious problems. So what I did is I went on to plumbingsupply.com. I looked up the Marielle series, that's spelled M-A-R-I-E-L-L, series number 26 for Pfister kitchen faucets, and I ordered some replacement parts, and I am hoping my whole problem is this, which is the cartridge. So I've got some gaskets on the bottom, and I'm hoping if I replace this, I'll be all set. I don't know if that's the problem or not. It looked perfectly fine on the inside, but I bought one of those. I also bought kind of the ring that kind of sits on that and locks that into place as well. So we're gonna see. But I had the darndest time taking this thing apart. I don't know if I will again or not, but we'll try and see what's going on. Now, sometimes I wrap my the parts that I'm going to be working on in just some painter's tape, so I don't scuff them up too much. And sometimes I can't wrap it on there because I'm a klutz. Sometimes I put this on the actual tool itself. Oh, I I got to do is get that started a little bit, and then it ends up going. It's of course giving me some trouble. So that just comes off, and maybe I'll zoom in on this attachment. So that just screws out. You can see that I've got a screw exposed. Before I take that screw off, I'm going to take a second and turn off the water. So feel free to fast forward the video if you don't want to wait for that. But I am underneath the sink right now. I'm turning off the cold feed. And moving over to the hot feed. Last time I turned off the hot feed, I get a little bit of water coming out, which I did again, but we're pretty well shut off. So next part here is taking out the screw. Now this screw is the only screw that is holding this handle on. I didn't believe that for a while because I had a really hard time getting this handle assembly off. That screw actually screws in to the cartridge at the top. So this assembly is sitting on this cartridge. So that's kind of going to be my next step here. And I had the darndest time getting this off, and I still do. But if you pull hard enough, again, I had some, as you can see, just some water hardness around this assembly, and that's a problem right there. Alright, so that's off. This is exposed, but unfortunately it doesn't pull straight out. There's two more pieces that we have to have off, and you could probably see I have marred this up, but there is a ring. There's kind of 1, 2, 3, 4 kind of looks like separate parts to this, but the first two, the top two, are actually connected. So these two, this is one piece right here. Then the base is the next piece. So there's only two pieces that are this silvery color. So our next part is to screw this off. My guess is that will again not screw off for me. Oh, there it goes. But I marred this up trying to get this thing to turn. And I actually didn't know at the time I was doing it how to get it to turn. So you can see that that screws off of there. And so the next part is this kind of gasket. It also unscrews. There's this very small ridge that has 12 little bump outs on it. I tried to find a gasket or a socket to go over that, and I found one, and I'll give you more information about that in a second. because I'm probably going to pause the video to get this off. But I wanted, when I tried to get this off before, I was trying to put this tool just around just the lip right here, and I was trying to turn, and I ended up marring up these all these points. And so when I ended up getting the socket of the right size to put it on there, it just wouldn't hold real well. So I had some problems there. What I ended up doing is I ended up taking this and actually just going right over the grooves of this. Now, you've got to be really careful here, because if you mess up these grooves, this piece won't screw back on here. But I simply took this, got it, and very carefully turned, just like that, to get it loosened. That's what I ended up doing. I didn't bring the socket set up this morning, but you can see, probably you can see, that I marred up those ridges at the top, and that's why the socket really didn't work. But it's a big socket. It's like maybe a 30 millimeter. And it looks like I've got some water coming out right now, so I'm going to make sure that my water line is completely turned off. I thought it was, but yeah, they seem pretty turned off, but getting a little bit of water. So I'm going to pause this for a second while I try to figure out how to stop that water. But you can see this now comes right up out of there. Now the problem is that I can see a problem right now, and that is that what they sent me is not going to fit what I have. So, even though I thought I had the right part number, I do not have the correct piece at all, and so this video is going to be very incomplete. But you'll get the idea. I need to order another one of these. I am thinking this is my problem child. There's nothing in here that I see that's a problem. This is what allows it to turn back and forth and adjust. But what I ordered is nowhere near close to what I needed. So I'm going to stop the video here. I'm probably still going to post it just because I think there are some important pieces of how to take this assembly apart that I couldn't really find anywhere on the internet. I did, by the way, clean out all inside here, hoping that that would help, but I really do think it's this cartridge that needs to be replaced. When you're putting this back in, there is a little notch on the cartridge that goes in the small groove of the assembly. So you need to make sure that you get that put back in correctly when you're putting this back together. But putting it back together, it's just the same thing. Screwing this down. Getting that screwed in. Once you have that screwed in, screwing this piece back on. Again, I kind of marred up the grooves of that, so mine doesn't go in perfectly. And see, as soon as I screw that in, I now can feel kind of the tension, and this doesn't move as smoothly. So that's why I think it's this part. I would clean this out the best I can. Push that down into place. And again, I can still feel that we're going to have the problem. So I'm just thinking right now out loud, but because this part was the wrong size, that probably means my model number for what I actually have, what my sink actually is different. So at the beginning of this video, I showed that I thought I had the Marielle series number 26. It looked exactly the same, but I ordered part number 6 right here. That's this, and that was way too small for what I actually have. So I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board with that. Thanks for watching. I hope it helped somehow. Have a great day.